It was a decade of well-publicized food scares, E. coli, salmonella, and more. Tonight, a new CBS News poll finds only 7% give the U.S. an A on ensuring the safety of our food supply. 74% give a grade of C or above. 24% give a grade of D or F. Bill Whitaker has more tonight as we continue our series, CBS Reports, Where America Stands.
When it comes to agriculture, America is indeed the land of plenty. Foods raised here and imported from around the world provide greater abundance and choice than ever before. But while our foods are bountiful, they are also inconsistently regulated. The U.S. has one of the safest food supplies in the world, but the report card is mixed. Every year, 33% of Canadians get sick from what they eat. In the U.S., 25%. But in England, it's only 2%, and in France, just 1%. Both countries where food is grown more locally and on a smaller scale than in North America. Safety always comes first in 12-year-old Riley Gustafson's kitchen.
I need to wash my hands because I touched my jeans.
She, more than anyone, knows that even good food can hurt you. In 2006, on her 9th birthday, she ate a spinach salad and was infected with the virulent strain of E. coli.
It felt like killer pain, and my organs started to shut down.
We panicked, what's causing this? Why is this happening?
You felt that bad, you really didn't think you were going to pull through?
I really felt that bad.
She spent 35 days in the hospital on dialysis. Today, she's still wary of fresh fruits and vegetables and has a damaged heart, kidney, and vocal cords.
My voice is soft right now because I had this tube down my throat.
Her story is just one example of the problem of food safety. Over the last few years, widespread outbreaks in spinach, tomatoes, peppers, and peanut products sickened thousands and killed nearly a dozen Americans. Every year, there are 76 million cases of foodborne illness in the United States, resulting in 325,000 hospitalizations and 5,000 deaths. Today, Americans consume more fresh produce, increasingly from imports around the world. But imported produce is inspected even less than homegrown harvests.
99% of the food that you're buying at the grocery store that comes from foreign countries has not been inspected by the FDA.
Eric Olson, head of food safety at the Pew Research Center, says the Food and Drug Administration is simply not up to the task. The FDA is responsible for 80% of the food supply, everything but meat and poultry. The number of food producers under FDA jurisdiction has increased, but the number of inspections is going down.
They simply do not have the tools to really protect our food supply.
So what's the solution? To start with, more and more farmers are creating their own rules.
I don't want hair in my food somewhere. I think of this as being on somebody's table right now.
Jack Vesey is the 4th generation in his family to farm this land, 8,000 acres of leafy greens. After the 2006 spinach outbreak, likely caused by unsanitary field conditions, he joined a farming cooperative, which agreed to a set of voluntary standards in the field for irrigation, fertilization, and sanitation, including hairnets, gloves, and frequent hand washing.
All current water tests.
Yep, we have about 8 of them on this field.
Vesey hired a food safety manager and estimates the extra cost to keep his fields contamination-free is about $250,000 a year. But another E. coli outbreak could cost farmers billions in lost sales.
We know that for us to do the best we can to provide a safe, reliable food supply, that we're going to spend the money.
The California Leafy Greens Marketing Agreement has become a model for other states and other produce, like tomatoes. The cooperative sends state inspectors out for frequent, even monthly inspections.
We're focused on it. We have these inspectors out here, and they're really making us do the right thing.
Another part of the solution? Science. Cutting-edge research around the country to find how pathogens make it onto fresh produce and how to lessen that risk.
We do work in a growth chamber where we can grow lettuce.
At the Center for Produce Safety, Linda Harris is focusing her research on irrigation.
It's hard to prove, it's hard to measure, but I really think we do make a difference.
And yet another part of the solution lies in Washington. Legislation, which could be considered as soon as next month, that could change the FDA's 100-year-old mandate. It hasn't been updated since the Depression. Mike Taylor is senior advisor to the FDA commissioner.
We are hamstrung. We often find ourselves, as a result, in a reactive mode.
Among the proposed changes, the FDA would be able to recall foods, which it can't do now, would have access to farm and factory records, more inspectors, and more funding to back it up.
Things that will make food safer, not just regulation for regulation's sake.
Riley Gustafson traveled to Washington to share her story with members of Congress. She'll probably need a kidney transplant when she's a teenager. Until then, she just wants to see this bill pass.
You would like to see that?
I would love to see that, so people don't have to take the risk. They know that it's probably not going to have a bacteria that's going to kill you or your child.
Having safe food, she says, is not too much to ask. Bill Whitaker, CBS News, Henderson, Nevada.